Recording in progress.
Awesome. Once again, I welcome you all to this 2 months intensive music bootcamp. It's being offered by Prophetic Worship Ministries in collaboration with Golden Touch Music Academy, which is the music education arm of our ministry. By God's grace, we have a vision to help fill the earth with spirit-filled worshipers. That's the primary reason, the primary goal of this series of training that we've decided to embark upon. And we're trusting God that you all will be great beneficiaries of this program and also become ambassadors for the kingdom of God through your worship ministries wherever you are on the surface of the earth, in Jesus' name. So I would like for us to quickly in the chat, go to the chat and just type in where you are connecting from. It would be nice for us to know who is connecting and from which part of the world. Just probably your first name and the country where you're connecting from. As of this afternoon, we have about 100 people who registered for this training. This is the first batch, which will last between now and sometimes in December. Okay, I see Austin, Texas. I see Nigeria. I see you all. Thank you so much for joining the call this afternoon. All right, and then the first batch will round up in December, and by God's grace, we'll open up after Christmas for the registration for the second batch, which will begin in January. The second batch will begin in January, and we will continue from there as the Lord will help us. Now, the way the program is arranged or organized is going to be moving from one level to another level, because we're trusting God to be able to get some few major persons who are ready for the next level in their musical career or music journey, and be able to partner with them in helping them release at least their very, very first song, if their calling has to do with music production, in the line of being a worship artist that plan or intend to release their songs in the future. So if you're a singer or a musician, a composer, an instrumentalist, but you believe that you have the calling to begin to release your own original songs, original instrumentation, original composition for the world to be blessed by it, there will be an opportunity at the end of this program. We'll give you more details as the program continues to unfold on how you can be part of this. So, but that is part of our vision. We are collaborating with various worship artists around the globe to be able to produce and publish their music or their musical works online, on social media, on various streaming platforms, that they too will begin to, reach out to the world. Because from experience, we know that some people are gifted but don't have the means to release their songs. Some people have the means but are not called into the worship of, into the ministry of releasing their songs, or even into the worship ministry. So we trust God to be able to bridge that gap between those who have the means and those who don't have the means, work with them to release their songs to the glory of God. So that's one of the focus of this particular worship bootcamp that we're running. And for one to qualify to moving into that level, you have to participate actively all through the 8 weeks, finish every of your assignments, submit them accordingly for you to qualify for the next level. Otherwise, you will not even be considered for that level of collaboration with our team. And when I say our team, even though you might be seeing myself alone most of the time, but it's a network of other worship artists and music producers, vocal coaches and other musicians, professional musicians, both here in the US, some of them in Nigeria, whom you will know and eventually get to meet some of them as we proceed with time. Okay? So I'm not going to be the only one that will be showing up or coaching you every Saturday when we meet. Having said that, I would like to share a few guidelines that we can hope to abide by on our Zoom calls to help us be more effective and productive. During our Zoom sessions. All right. So if you can take a look at the chat section, I just posted those rules there in the chat, and we encourage everyone to be on time, be prepared, come prepared, be punctual so that we can start on time, not wasting anyone's time. And then when you are not speaking, kindly mute yourself, except you are speaking or you are asked to speak. Probably you have a question and it's time for questions and answers. That's when you're permitted to unmute yourself and speak. But please remain muted during the classes. Also, we encourage you to use your headphones or earbuds to help reduce any form of echo or feedback. That will help us provide a clearer audio signals going both ways. And also, please, if it sounds as if my voice is echoing, if it's not clear enough, please let me know so that I can make some adjustment on my mixer over here to make sure that you have clear audio signals coming in. Also, if you want to, this is not compulsory, but we encourage you to have your video on. That way we can be more engaged with one another and not just myself talking to some blank screen and I'm not sure if someone is really following or not. So that will be very, very helpful. Also, we encourage you to participate actively, ask questions, and respond to others. I know that sometimes when the sessions are going on, some people may want to ask their questions in the chat section. That is totally fine. Feel free to ask your questions there. When we get to the Q&A time, those who want to come on live and ask their questions will be given an opportunity to do so. But those who just feel like typing their questions in the chat will definitely get to those questions and answer them as well. And then we encourage everyone to limit distractions. I know that so many of us are used to multitasking. Like myself, sometimes I do 3-4 things at the same time, especially when I'm online listening to a podcast. One eye is watching a screen, watching a movie, and at the same time I'm doing some research, So, but for your own good, this is an opportunity that may never come again for free. So we strongly encourage you to limit distractions. Stay in a quiet area. Our live sessions are mostly going to be 1 hour, at most 1 hour 15 minutes because of any questions and answers that may come up, which we trust God to answer them to the best of our ability. So, but if you are able to just stay focused during that 1 hour session, I promise you one thing, you will come out better than you were at the end of these 2 months of training by the grace of God. So try to avoid multitasking if it is possible. Stay focused. Let your concentration and attention be with us during this 1 hour, 15 minutes thereabout of live sessions on Saturdays. And by God's grace, everyone will come out on top as a winner. All right. So today, our main focus is to hold an orientation session, which is what I'm already doing, telling us what this 2 months of training is focused on, what it's all about, what we intend to achieve, our goals, our objectives, and also to give those of us who are live today with us on this call an opportunity to ask any other question that I probably may not have answered in the course of my introduction. Okay, so but before we get to the Q&A session, I would still like to quickly go over a couple of things on the website where you all registered for this training at. Okay, I will share my screen now and next up to kindly confirm if you can see the Golden Touch Music Academy website. Can I have a feedback from someone?
We can see it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the website, and this is a sample registered attendee. And if you click on this logo right here, it will bring you to the main page, which will show you the various music and ministry courses that we are offering at this time. This is the one you are registered for, the 2 months free intensive bootcamp. If you look at it carefully, it says 0 left. So which means we have about 100 people who have already registered, and that's the cap for now. We're stopping it at 100 to help us effectively manage the number of people who are registered and make sure that everyone gets the best of what they intend to at the end of it all. Okay, so having registered, so this is, if you get into the course, this is what it looks like right now. We have so much more that will be uploaded over the next few days for those who will be taking various instruments. But I'm very sure that you've gone through it and noticed that, okay, right now, there's just a voice training masterclass with Comfort Austin. She is one of our worship leaders and vocal coach based in Nigeria. And we also have 2 others. One of them is here in US with us that will be coming up during one of our live sessions in about 2 weeks' time. And we also have a section for music theory fundamentals uploaded. So the music theory fundamentals is a compulsory section for everyone. I expect everyone to go through the music theory fundamentals because that is going to be the main foundation for your music career moving on, going forward. Even if you're a singer, even if your focus is on just your instrument or just singing, whatever aspect of music you want to concentrate or focus on, it's very important for you to know some fundamentals of music theory. Take, for example, if you're a worship leader, if you're a singer and you go out for program, you are asked to take the solo of a song, to lead a song, and the pianist or the keyboardist ask you, what key do you sing on? If you just say, give me any key, it has already reduced your level of professionalism in the sight of the people around you who saw you or who heard you make that statement. You can't just say, give me any key. You should be able to tell them what is your comfortable key, or at least somewhere that you can start from. For example, say, give me key C or give me E flat. The moment you speak in the language they understand, which is the musical jargon, they will begin to respect you even much more because they know that, oh, this person knows what they are doing. They're not just one of those who wake up one day and discover that, oh, I can sing, and then, begin to go out for programs, go out for events, but that you know the fundamentals, you know the rudiments, you know the basics of what exactly you are looking for. It gives you much more respect than someone who doesn't even know what they're talking about. So that's the reason why fundamentals of music theory is very important, for you to know your key, know different genre of music that exists. Time signature will be covering things like that. Also, at the very top here on the left hand side where it says welcome, after the welcome message, this is where I put in the Zoom link for every Saturday we'll be meeting. So I believe next Saturday should be November 1st. I'll correct the date over here. That must have been a mistake. Yes, so this is where you will always find the Zoom link. And by the way, it's going to be the same Zoom link. The same Zoom link, same meeting ID, same passcode. So feel free to just use the same one whenever you are logged in and we're ready to go live. But we'll make sure we add the Zoom link with all the remaining 7 dates accordingly. Furthermore, there is a community section which I encourage everyone to join the community. So if you click on the community section over here, okay, if you click on it, it says join now. You click on join now and you say I accept. So it's a free community for everyone to join. So once you are part of this community, you'll be able to participate in any discussions going on. Okay? So for example, this is the main one you should focus on. 2 months intensive. So make sure you join this community. Leave a like or leave a reply. Or perhaps you have a question. You can just go over here and ask your question in the community section. Maybe you finish going through one of the lessons and you have a question, you need some clarification. Please just leave a message in the community section and I will ensure to get back to you as soon as possible, at least within 48 hours. Okay? So, I know that a few of you are close to me and you have my personal number, but just as we all know, due to time difference and other commitments that we have, I may not be readily available to answer you on my cell phone. So, but I will always be logged on online and be able to respond to any chat messages in the community section or questions that you may have. So I encourage you all to join the community section. And then, yeah, so I also want to encourage us to spread the word, encourage others to be part of what we are doing here. By God's grace, it's going to be massive. Thank you very much, Sister Camille and Comfort. Yeah, next Saturday is November 2nd. I'll correct that after this class today. I'll make sure I effect that correction, and then we'll have the additional dates added in. So tell others about what's going on here. By Monday, on Monday, we'll make the link for the next batch. We'll make it available for people to begin to register ahead of time. So they can just register ahead of time. But it will not be live for them to see any of the courses available, any of the videos. They're not going to see anything. So it's just like pre-registering. So they'll have the opportunity to pre-register themselves in preparation for the January batch. And then when the time comes, they'll be part of the live session. So there are a couple of things I would like us to quickly go over. It's more like a poll, just to help me have an idea of who is here in terms of what your major instrument is going to be and what you intend to focus on. So please go ahead and just fill that quiz that we have right now. Okay, I see acoustic guitar. Awesome. Okay, I'll leave it on the side for now to see if we have more people joining us. And then there's also a second one that we're going to be having shortly. Right now, I see that we have, okay, about 4 different instruments. That's good. And like I said earlier on, music theory is compulsory for everyone. So irrespective of what you plan to focus on, you're still going to be part of the music theory. So it's a good thing to select from any of the other instruments. All right. So based on this polls that we have here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be releasing various sections that are targeted directly at those musical instruments that we have represented in the polls. So there'll be a section for trumpet and saxophone, woodwind instruments generally. There'll be a section for acoustic and electric guitar on the website. There'll be a section for piano, keyboard. And then, just like we already have a section for singing or voice training, we'll just build it out much more. And each section will also come with questions and answers. It's just a very, very small quiz for you to, try out what you just learned. Now, even though we called it 2 months intensive, the intensivity is going to come from you and your level of participation in the class, in the online self-paced lessons. So if you sit down and wait until next Saturday before you go to the channel, before you open the website and go through the lessons, I'm sorry, you may not be able to derive much from it, because we're not going to be live with you every day of the week. So you have to create time for yourself and go through those courses, go through the lessons, go through the videos, go through the reading materials. If there's any PDF attached, download it. The ones that you can print or the ones that are suggested to be printed, print out those and begin to study them on your own. If you have any questions, go back, like I said, in the community section, or send a direct chat to me on the website, and we'll respond to your question to help you remove any obstacle to move forward with your training. And then when we meet on Saturdays like this, the focus will be on general things that we need to talk about, and also music theory. Any questions that you have that we believe that others can benefit from it, we ask them when we meet like this, talk about those, take care of those, and then we move forward. When we finish, those who succeed in completing all their training, all their sections, they will get a certificate of participation from our school. And by the way, Golden Touch Music World is a registered organization here in the US. So whatever we are giving you is legit by God's grace. All right? So it's not just another roadside certification, or we're trying to make a name for ourselves. No, we've been registered since, I believe, September 2016. Yeah, September 2016. Since then, we've been a registered organization here in the United States, and we've been conducting music business related activities since then. So we are very confident of what we are offering and what we trust God that you'll be getting. So when you go to the website and you see a section for voice training, but your focus is on piano, don't worry, skip the voice training section, go to the piano section and learn whatever lessons we have there for you. Okay? If your section is not piano and it's not voice training, skip and go to the acoustic / electric guitar section and focus on your guitar. So you have two focus as an acoustic guitarist or a potential acoustic guitarist: the acoustic guitar section and the music theory section. For a singer, a vocalist, a worship leader, your focus will be this voice training section, the voice training masterclass section, and music theory. So if your focus is on saxophone, trumpet, woodwind, then you just keep to that section, saxophone, trumpet, and music theory. That way, we don't have to confuse ourselves with trying to finish the acoustic guitar, finish the piano, finish the voice training, finish the bass guitar, finish the music theory, finish. You don't have to stress yourself doing that. This way you can just channel all of that energy in ensuring that you have a streamlined focus in your training. I hope that will help. Okay. There is a second. There's a second quiz I would like us to, well, not quiz, polls that I would like us to quickly answer here and then move forward. So kindly answer this accordingly. I would like to know, to have a clearer spectrum of your level, your current level of expertise. Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate who is just looking to advance? So which means you will be focused on the advanced section. And if you're a beginner, you can click on beginner. If you're an advanced student, click on the advanced. That will help us determine the level of content, the level of complexity in the content will be given out to you. Okay. All right. I see we have an intermediate. Okay. Thank you very much for the responses. So it looks like we might be dealing more with beginner level students in this session. Irrespective of your instrument of choice, we're going to make sure we have enough content spread out for beginner level and then intermediate level as well. The truth of the matter is, irrespective of your level, there is always room for improvement. There is always room for growth. Okay? Sometimes not like I'm shocked or surprised, but I am impressed when I see professionals spending hours upon hours rehearsing, perfecting their craft, pushing themselves a notch further just to get to break through to another level or to do something they've not done before. To do something they've not done before, or to make sure that this next ministration they are going for, this next performance for those who are into secular music, whatever it is that they call it, this next gig, that they want to make sure that their level of performance and delivery, everything is top-notch and better than the last one that they had. So that is a really, really good mindset to carry, the mindset of excellence, pushing yourself to do better, to do more. No matter the level where you are in, where you are at, you can always do better. You can get better than that. Okay? If you watch others, if you listen attentively, you will see that someone has something to offer that you have not yet attained that level. So this is your opportunity to get to that level as well by pushing yourself, by rehearsing, by training. So I encourage everyone to create a schedule for themselves. Personally, I have a schedule of a minimum of 30 minutes every day. Minimum of 30 minutes every day that I spend on my music rehearsals. So it depends on what I want to rehearse on that day. For those who know me as a multi-talented musician, so it depends on what I want to rehearse that day. So each day I focus on one thing or another. There are days when I focus on just music theory. Some days I focus on an instrument. Some days I focus on music analysis, just to listen, analyze a music, score a music, or compose a music. Depends on what I feel like doing on that day. So create a schedule for yourself. The minimum I expect of everyone in this class is between 15 minutes to 30 minutes every day. If you're able to create 1 hour, depending on your personal lifestyle at the moment. When I say lifestyle, work, family, and every other thing that interferes with the way your life is currently situated, that's totally fine. I remember back in those days in college, apart from going to class, fellowship, and back to hostel, I had at least 5 to 10 hours every day that I committed into rehearsals, practicing. So I remember very well how I've poured in over 5,000 hours within 4 years of being in college, just practicing on my musical instrument. So for those who have that kind of opportunity at this time, this is the right time for you to pour into it. Now, for singers, because of how quickly the voice can become tired, I don't expect you to sit down straining your voice, trying to sing during your rehearsal time for 1 hour, 2 hours, and so on. No, don't stress yourself doing that, okay? Rather, you can break the time into listening to music, analyzing other musical pieces that you're watching or listening to, and also your own practical rehearsals. There's going to be a lot of practical content for you. For those who have already started going through the videos, I'm sure that you are seeing some of the lessons there may be basic and some could be challenging. So but make sure you conquer every single video. If there's anything you feel you didn't do well, go back to that section, watch that video again, grasp all that you can from it before you move to the next video. This week that we're moving into, we'll be uploading additional sections for you all, for your voice training, and also for other instruments too. We'll make sure you have something to work with beginning from Monday, Tuesday, by the grace of God, so that by the time we meet next week, Saturday, I will be expecting questions from your primary instrument of focus. Okay, and then, all right, so that's what we have for current level of expertise: 5 beginners, 2 intermediate. And then for major instruments, we have 3 for voice, 2 for piano, keyboard, 2 for acoustic, electric, 1 saxophone, trumpet. Awesome. Thank you all for participating. Now, I will give room for any questions, anything that you need me to clarify on. Remember, today is mostly orientation, talking through what to expect, creating that expectation, even though we have about 20 minutes left, but I just want to see if anyone has a question. For those of us who are familiar with the Zoom platform, there is a section for raising your hand. So I encourage us to use that so that we can be more orderly in case there are 3 to 10 people who have questions. We can just do it orderly and call on whoever has a question one after the other. While waiting for any questions, I would like to confirm, Comfort Austin, are you still online? I'm not sure if the Infinity phone, if that's you. Okay, all right, awesome. So we will be creating a WhatsApp group. We'll create a WhatsApp group for all the people registered for voice training. Add them on that group so that besides the ongoing chat on the website, the WhatsApp group might be an easier communication channel for those who might not be close to their computer or those who prefer to use the WhatsApp as a channel of communication, and then we can monitor their growth and any other questions that they may have. Comfort Austin is one of our vocal coaches based in Nigeria, and she'll be helping as an admin on the WhatsApp group for vocals. And then we also create different WhatsApp groups for those who are focused on any other instrument. That way we can have the flexibility of either communicating through the website or directly on WhatsApp. Either one is fine by me. We should be able to have that done for us all. Okay, still checking to see if there's any question. No question at this time. All right, I'll proceed. Meanwhile, if you have any question, feel free to ask it in the chat section or raise up your hand using the hand raising icon on Zoom. Oh, okay. Looks like someone missed the first poll. I will relaunch it. Now, for those who already answered, don't worry, you don't have to answer again. Just leave it blank. This is just for those who didn't respond to the first. Okay. All right. Voice training, acoustic guitar, music theory. All right. Camille, I see your question. Will there be videos that will be able to follow during our downtime? Yes. Yes, there'll be video for us to follow. Both videos on music theory and also videos on your primary instrument. So we'll be uploading some videos. So look out for the videos within the next 3 to 4 days. Within the next 3 to 4 days. So I encourage you to check as from Tuesday. As from Tuesday, go back to the website and check if the video for your primary instrument has been uploaded. Awesome. Thank you, Victoria. So I'll just do a quick recap. Yes. While that is a possibility that in the polls you could have multiple choice for your primary instrument, depends on your level on the first instrument. I will not encourage anyone to jump from one instrument to another because it's just 2 weeks, 2 months, 8 weeks. So I don't know how much you can perfect on one instrument before you move to the next instrument within 8 weeks. But if you feel you've advanced to a certain level enough on your first instrument, then you can just skim through the videos, browse through it, and see if there is something, if there are any knowledge gaps, okay? If there are any knowledge gaps in your knowledge of that primary instrument, go ahead and watch those videos and fill it up, then move to the whatever instrument of choice. So the plan is to make all of these instruments that we mentioned, the sections are going to be available and accessible to everyone who is registered. But I was advising us to focus on your primary instrument and music theory so that you won't fall into what we refer to as tutorial hell, where you've not finished one, you are jumping to another, and then because you also have passion for guitar, you've not finished your piano, you jump to guitar, you've not finished the guitar, and you saw saxophone, oh, saxophone has been uploaded last night, let me go and see what's going on in saxophone. You jump over to saxophone, but before you know it, the 8 weeks have passed, and you've not actually learned any of the instruments, or you've not moved from the level where you are. Okay? So that's why we encourage you to stick to one instrument, perfect it, then move to the next instrument. But for those who are already at intermediate level on one instrument, if you don't wish to move to an advanced stage, that's totally fine. You can, at that point, switch your instrument and start focusing on your next preferred instrument. So your second choice of instrument. So, but right now, everyone has two instruments already. That's the theory of music and your primary instrument. Okay. No further questions at this time. Thank you all for the questions. Keep them coming if you have more. Meanwhile, for those who joined late, this Zoom session is being recorded, and we will have it uploaded on the website. So those who missed the session today, or those who joined in late, can go back and watch and catch up on all the instructions that we passed at the very beginning. In case there is something you missed out, you can follow along with us. We also mentioned, I just want to recap that we had about 100 people registered for this 2-month session. This is the first batch. By January 1st, we'll be starting a second batch. So right now, registration is closed, in case anyone is asking about it. Registration is closed for this section. When we open registration again for the January batch, we expect people to begin to pre-register, but the classes will not go live until January for the next batch. We just want to make sure that we focus on the 100 people who registered for this section and be effective and productive in being able to manage the number of persons that we have at the moment. Okay. Question. It's my turn to ask the question now. What is music? Feel free to type it in the chat or unmute yourself and share with us what is music by your understanding. What do you think is music? If someone just meet you, your younger brother, your younger sisters, someone who doesn't know anything about music, just meets you on the road and asks you, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma, what is music?" How are you going to answer that person? While I give you 1 minute to think about your answer, a quick icebreaker. I asked this question some years ago. Not this exact question. I asked, who is a music director? And one lovely looking boy raised up his hand and said, a music director is someone who hires and fires musicians. So that's his own understanding of who a music director is. The person who hires and fires musicians, that is a music director. So while in some sense he's not wrong, because of course that is part of the job description of a music director. They determine who gets to play, who they bring in, who they bring on board as part of their musicians. Okay. So we had to go further to define who a music director is for that person. So in case you're having a one-sided understanding of what music is, this is an opportunity to share our definition of music. Thank you, Daniel. I see your definition there. Music is a pleasant sound to the ears. That's correct. Music is a bunch of instruments that create one sound. Awesome definition. Thank you, Camille. Okay, any other definition? Feel free to unmute yourself, and if you want to say it out rather than typing it in, and if you prefer to type it in the chat, that's also fine. The choice is yours. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the two definitions we have in the chat, two things are common in both definition. Can you type it in the chat? What do you think is the common factor to both definition? Awesome. Sound. Sound. That's great. Thank you very much for those answers. That's the common factor between the two of them. Sound is the common factor. Sound. So, another way of defining music, everyone's definition is correct, but just a more elaborate definition of music, the way I will put it if I'm asked what is music. I will simply say music is the combination of sound put together, one after the other, in an orderly manner or orderly sequence to create a pleasant and harmonious output in the ears of the listener. Okay? That's my definition of music. Combination of sounds put together one after the other in an orderly manner to create a pleasant and harmonious output or sound, which we refer to as music now, in the ears of the listener. So there has to be sound, there has to be orderly manner for it to be referred to as music. And then there has to be the third party, that's the listener, the person listening to it, the person at the receiving end of the sound we are putting together, of the sound we are creating. The person listening is the one that can tell that, oh, this is music. Because, trust me, sometimes something may sound really good to you. You think you are creating a very beautiful sound on your instrument. That's your thought. But the person listening can be put off and turned off by whatever you are producing and said, why is he making so much noise? That guy is just making noise. He can't play anything. So until your music produces a pleasant sound in the ears of the listener, it is not yet music. So the goal of the sound combination, or the combination of instruments to create the sound, is that there must be a pleasant sound created in the ears of the listener. So the goal is to have the listener approve that whatever we are doing can be referred to as music. So don't just sit down alone and think whatever you are doing is good enough. That's the reason why, until when you are bold enough to play in public, to play in church, to play in programs and events, okay, for people to vet you, for people to see you and comment on it and tell you areas that you did well or areas that can be improved upon, that's when you actually tell yourself that, okay, now I'm on my journey in music. Now I'm creating music. Now I'm making music. I remember in those days when I started learning saxophone, to me, I was already breaking through, gradually making some sense. But to my brothers and sisters in the house, oh, Bro Jerry, why are you disturbing us with that, your saxophone? Can't you see that you're just making noise? But that was just 3 months into it. But after 2-3 years of consistent practice, I began to make music. They were the ones that came around and were telling me that, oh, now you are beginning to sound good. Now you are beginning to sound better. We remember when you first started and you were just making noise all over the place. That is what's expected. So music is a combination of sound. Thank you very much, Victoria, for helping type that in the chat. Put together one after the other in an orderly sequence to create a pleasant and harmonious output or sound in the ears of the listener. That is music. If you go to the marketplace or when you go grocery shopping, everybody is talking, someone is saying something, someone is checking out, someone is calling for customer service, someone needs help at the counter, somebody needs help to bring something down from a shelf that is too high for them to reach. So it's full of chaotic noise. So that is noise. That is not music. Because Nobody is waiting for the other person to finish talking before they talk. The person that is trying to check out in the second aisle is not going to wait for you to finish checking out before they check out, because there is a customer service person, a representative on the checkout counter attending to them, and you have someone before you attending to you. So everything is going on simultaneously at the same time. There's no order. That is noise. But if you take, for example, a group of soldiers who are at their training ground or a marching ground, or a group of students trying to march, maybe there's a commander in front of them and it's telling them, everybody left, right, left, right, left, right, and they're all lifting their foots and stomping it on the ground in that orderly fashion. Everybody lifts up their left leg at the same time, bring it down at the same time, lift up their right leg at the same time, bring it down at the same time. There is an orderly manner. There is a sequence, left before right. Now, eventually, they create such a harmonious sound that it becomes one sound, which brings us back to Sister Camille's definition, a bunch of instruments that create one sound. All the instruments coming together. It's just like a band trying to sing one song. You're trying to sing, what a beautiful name it is, what a beautiful name it is. So if the pianist is playing what a beautiful name it is, the drummer is playing what a beautiful name it is, but the bassist is now playing, hey, my God is good though, inside of the same music that others are playing what a beautiful name it is. There is a dissonance being created. They are no longer together. That becomes noise. But if everybody, the drummer, the keyboardist, the bassist, everybody comes together and they are all playing what a beautiful name it is, on the same key, following the same progression, same song, same key, same progression, okay? Same balanced volume level, not like one person is excessively high and then you can't even hear the drummer because the bass guitar overshadow everybody, or the drummer overshadow the piano. You can't hear the piano, you're only hearing the drums. It's no longer music. So there has to be a balance. That's where dynamics comes in when we're talking about music. It has to be dynamic in the sense that a balance has to be created by the volume level of the various instruments being played, being combined together. Okay? You combine the various instruments at certain level that everybody can hear everybody. Drummer can hear the bassist, he can hear the keyboardist. Keyboardist can hear the drummer, at the same time he can hear the bassist. Everybody complementing one another, bringing in together their expertise, forming one sound, creating that pleasant sound, just like Daniel mentioned, creating that pleasant sound with their instruments to create a pleasant sound in the ears of the listener. Then you have music. So that is a good definition of music. I encourage you to write down that definition and ponder upon it, think on it, so that it can begin to help you create a mental picture of the end goal of where you want to be on your primary instrument. You want to get to that place where you are creating harmonious sound on your guitar, harmonious sound on your keyboard. And then when you meet with other musicians, you can bring your sounds together to create a pleasant sound, ultimately, in the ears of whoever listens to your music. All right? Part of the music theory sessions, I would like to mention this. Part of the music theory sessions in the videos will also be covering tonic sulfur. Now, some of us may not know what tonic sulfur is. It's another way of representing music. All right? There are about 3 to 4 ways of representing what we refer to as music. Through the sheet music, Okay, that's why we have all the staff notation. For those of us who have seen any piece of music before, let me quickly share the document of the music theory. Okay, so this is the music theory document. For those who have downloaded it or scanned through it, when you see music being written on piece of paper like this, that looks like this, okay? This is one of the ways through which we can represent music. In among the videos that will be uploaded over the next few days, 3 days, I will be explaining in depth all of this staff notation and everything that we have written here, so that when we meet on Saturdays, we'll just go through the details and answer any question that anyone may have. So, but I'm just showing us what written music looks like. So this is one of the ways through which we can represent music. So everything you see written on this line is a sound. It can be played to produce a sound on your musical instrument. We'll demonstrate that in our next class when we meet next week, okay? So that's one of the ways of representing music, through the sheet music on a sheet of paper, and then through your musical instrument or electronics, okay? Music can be represented that way when you're playing your music on an instrument. And then through the voice, the human voice. That's a third way of representing music, even though we also categorize the human voice as a musical instrument. But it's not an electronic musical instrument. It's a natural one, all right? And then lastly, tonic sulfur. So when we talk about tonic sulfur, you probably have heard about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay? That is tonic sulfur. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. It can be represented on all musical instruments, including drums. There's a way a drummer can tune their drums that will give you a resemblance of sulfur notations, okay, or of certain main keys on the keyboard. So, but for your drums to be able to span through all of these notes, then you must have multiple toms surrounding you. But that's for drummers. From the polls today, we didn't have anyone for drum class, so we're not going to focus on it that much on it. So, but I just wanted to mention this, that we're going to be doing some extensive lessons on tonic sulfur as well, for those who want to learn how to use tonic sulfur. Let me show you an experience I had this morning on how important tonic sulfur is and how you can use tonic sulfur. So, early this morning, I received an inspiration. I woke up from a dream, and in that dream, the Lord gave me a particular song. And He told me exactly who to reach out to, a gospel artist, to collaborate in releasing this song with, which I will be reaching out over the next 1 or 2 weeks to start working on that song. But that song that I received, by the time I woke up, I needed to go out, do some grocery shopping, and take care of some things. So I didn't have time to sit down to record the song, either on my phone or to use the keyboard or something to record it, which is what I normally will do. I'll just come over here in my studio, switch on the recording, and then record any inspiration I receive. But what I did was that I quickly wrote down the lyrics of the song, and I wrote down the tonic sulfur of the song as well. Let me show you what it looks like for those who are interested in seeing it. Okay. So this is what it looks like. If you be lifted. So I wrote down the chorus, I wrote down the chords using tonic sulfur, do, re, mi, so, and then do, so, mi, re, do, la. I wrote it down so that I don't forget it. So when I want to come back to it, all I need to do is go through the tonic sulfur, and I know exactly what each line will be reading. So this line is for this line. And then the second line is for this line of my lyrics. Then the third line is going to be for this line of my lyrics. So that's how you interpret tonic sulfur, and it will help you to compose your songs, to interpret other people's songs. You can get to know tonic sulfur in depth to the point that any song on the surface of the earth that you hear, you can write out the tonic sulfur for it. That's how much I've invested in tonic sulfur, understanding it, being able to create tonic sulfur for any song, write out for my own personal compositions and things like that. So I'm hoping that you two will be able to learn a lot from that section under music theory and apply it as you proceed, because it's very important for you. It's going to help your ability to hear and score a song instantly. You don't have to wait for the sheet music. Okay, you don't have to wait for the written music notation, because you know the tonic sulfur, you understand tonic sulfur. As you are hearing the song, you are interpreting it. For example, Jehovah, you are the most high. Jehovah, you are the most high God. Mi, re, do, la, 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 do. Mi, re, do, ti, 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 mi, re, do. That's the tonic sulfur of that song. So the same thing goes for any other song that you hear, that you listen to. You can quickly learn that song, write out the tonic sulfur, and begin to play it. That's how I score songs. Most of the time, within the space of minutes, I can learn a song because I understand tonic sulfur. So I don't have to start digging online looking for a chord chart, a chord sheet, and all of that, because I've understood tonic sulfur, and I can interpret any sound I hear to the tonic sulfur equivalence to bring out exactly what that song is trying to say, interpret it on any musical instrument. So I encourage you, when we get to that section, if you come across it, pay attention to it. It's going to really, really skyrocket your musicianship. All right. That's where I'm going to stop for today. Any final questions before we close? Any final questions? Any thoughts? Any comments? Otherwise, any questions? If not, that will be the end of today's session. Once again, thank you all for tarrying with me within this 1 hour. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. Sitting down there and watching me and listening to me rant for the past 1 hour and some minutes. You're welcome. The pleasure is mine. And I look forward to seeing you all become great and mighty vessels in the hands of the Almighty God and in your music career, in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen and amen. God bless you all. I celebrate you all. And I'll see you same time next week, Saturday, by the grace of God. Bye-bye now.